The day is nearly upon us, viewers, and while a lot of you seem to think you've predicted the top two, it's time for player number 2 in our list of 25 favourite players, the Hall of Fame, the Dr. Benji Hall of Fame. Here we go then. It's interesting. Of course, I say you kind of worked out who it potentially could be, and of course, stay tuned later today for number 1. If you're watching these as they go up, number 1 is going up this afternoon rather than tomorrow. Enjoy your Christmas day, for heaven's sake. So, we go to FM 17. And we go to the Aspalian job, and it's Dorian Heiser.
3, 2, 1, go!
We must waste no time. Welcome back, Dorian Heiser. Who the hell is Dorian Heiser? I hear you think in your head mentally. Dorian Heiser is someone that's arrived on Regen Day, and there's so many things to talk about. 1, he's bloody excellent to begin with. Secondly, he's Albanian. Andy Tannoy, formerly of Salford City, Albanian. Not born in the same place, bit annoying. But Albanian, and he's got a 12 free kick taking. That's immediately been trained, so that'll be up. In all seriousness, at 16, he looks really good. A few issues with him, though. He's a bit temperamental, bless him, short-tempered, and I'm a bit worried that he'll get a little bit angry. But that said, I like him a lot. He could be the natural replacement for someone like Adam Lafondra. Say in 3 years, when Adam Lafondra is 44, then we can bring in Dorian Heiser at 19, and he's going to tear it up. Or we just play him this season into the first team. You go, my friend. Dorian Heiser. I mean, it's good, doesn't he? Looks bloody good. The highlight continues. Heiser on it. Well, for someone with 3 passing, that was pretty good. Boloko, left-hand side, ball played into Heiser, scores! It's a 5th! And Dorian, sorry, I said his name wrong. Dorian Heiser, 90th minute, gets his goal. And here is a chance. Derek driving forward. He plays in Dorian Heiser to wrap up the league for Spal. And Dorian Heiser puts it into the back of the net. 63 minutes gone. Could that be the goal that clinches the league title for Spal? I think, folks, it may well be. Derek plays through Dorian, who I think is quite clearly offside. And I may well be wrong. And I'm going to watch it again in slower motion. I think Dorian is well off here. I mean, he's off. He's a foot off. 100%. He's offside, and they've given it, and I do not give a stuff. Dorian's raced through, and we've seen Dorian Heiser enough to know that in this position, in this area of the pitch, he does not miss that one-on-one chance. He slots home. The crowd behind the goal go wild. They know how much it means, and we, my friends, are very, very close to winning another league title. The Albanian magician then makes it to number 2 on our list, and there's lots of reasons as to why he's 2 rather than 5, or I guess you'll find out later who number 1 is. But Dorian Heiser then beats the likes of Monier, beats the likes of Pixie for one reason really, and one reason only. He was one of our own. A region that came through, my best regenerated new gen player to have ever existed in any of my saves. I've never had a player as good. I'm not sure I'll ever have a player as good ever again. I think the only player that, I was thinking about this earlier, the only player that probably rivals Dorian Heiser is Peter Phillips from Salford, for those that remember Peter Phillips, but he left and disappeared and then came back later on and wasn't really as good. Whereas Dorian Heiser went from sort of poorly haired, if we're going to, I hate to disappoint people, but Dorian Heiser's hair, for someone that was so young, it was unfortunate for him. Quite the fringe situation he's got going on. But no, when we first had him at the club, he started at the age of 16 with us and got a goal in his first few appearances in that first season for us in Serie B. Then continued to become a bit of a goal machine, and then the seasons went by, turned into someone quite prolific. 17, 27, 24, 29, 33, and then 28 in that final season, and having above a 7 point, apart from one sort of season where he didn't play so well, but generally speaking, at a 7.4, 7.46, 7.39, so a 7.30. He wasn't our best player, and again, this sort of goes into our favourite players. To have someone homegrown at a team like Spal, who became a world-class striker, to come through the Spal Academy, which at the time was never that impressive. Spal's Academy wasn't known for just giving us great player after great player. There probably wasn't another one in the entire save other than Dorian Heiser. It was such an anomaly. As I say, I've never had a player as good as this. We just got so lucky at the start of Spal that he was the player we got. Of course, doing a save in Italy and getting an Albanian regen who is very good for them as well. 27 and 50 for them too. Was a pivotal part of what we did at Spal. Won all sorts of things as well, competition-wise. Of course, won a couple of league titles, a Europa League he won as well. The Champions League with Spal never really sort of came to anything, but yeah, Dorian Heiser. Dorian was he was fantastic, and I would be foolish, and there'll be people sitting there now going, you better mention him, you better mention him. Dorian Heiser was good, but he wouldn't have been as good if he didn't have a couple of comrades, that's the one, with him. Emmanuel Renzi was one of them, and we had him on loan for a spell, and then he went back to Inter Milan, and we thought we'd lost him forever after a very successful first season with us, after being on loan at Parma as well. So there's little connections all over the spot at the shop, really. Then came back to us, 12 goals in 15 appearances, very impressive stuff for him. Bought in the January period and was an absolute machine at the back end of that season. And of course, spices. Sebastian Spira. Herbs and spices were a thing. Heiser was herbs, and Sebastian Spira was very much spices within everything. And yeah, Renzi and Spira were so good. Heiser wouldn't have been as good as he was without these guys. You look at some of the assists on Spira in that final year, 14 assists definitely played into the part that Heiser was able to score so many goals, 25 for him as well. And I did say last episode as well that we'll go through a few of the Spal players that didn't quite make it, but were fantastic players, arguably could have made it. There's a few in there. I think Luca Barloco as a left back was unfortunate to miss out against a player that spends 8 years with you. They're always a little attached to me, and yeah, we had a really good time with him. There's a few others in there as well that I would probably point out. Kevin Lasagna, I had him in a very successful stream save, but he was never too good in the video series, which is a bit of a shame. Bon Jovi, who has a real name and plays for Monaco, so if you're interested in, you'll figure it out if you look at it. And of course, Ruben Diaz, who already featured on the list. There's not too many Spal players that made it. There are a couple that definitely deserved it, but no more so than Dorian Heiser, then, who takes his spot as second on the list. Dorian Heiser, number 71 for Spal, and what a player he was. Who knows what we could have achieved with him had we continued this save even further into the future, but we got our Serie A titles, and we were happy to leave with that. And of course, let me know what you think then. Dorian Heiser, was he up there for you? I'm sure he was up there for you. Come on. Who would have been your sort of, you can do an unconventional one if you like, your unconventional second place? He wasn't your favourite player from the series, but would sort of be your second favourite, because it's very easy for people to say, oh yeah, this was my favourite player from all of the series you've done, Ben. But who was your second favourite? Comment section, that's where you come in, and I'll see you later on for player number 1. Who is my favourite player of all my saves throughout YouTube? You'll find out later on. With love, with care. If you're not to speak to you next time, have a lovely Christmas, and I'll see you soon.